I'm Ethan Carter, 29. My girlfriend Mia lied about helping her mom with a garage cleanup to sneak off to her ex's wedding until I showed up as the maid of honors plus one and turned her lie into a viral disaster. If you were 29 and caught your partner in a lie this big, how would you handle it? Share your thoughts below. It was a crisp October morning in 2024, and I was standing in my downtown Austin apartment, the kind of place with sleek hardwood floors and floor-to-ceiling windows that catch the Texas sunrise. At 29, I'd carved out a decent life independent stable, and 2 years into a relationship with Mia Thompson. Things felt solid or so I thought until that Monday when I stepped into the bathroom and froze. There, hanging on the glass door, was a burgundy cocktail dress shimmering like a warning sign. The tag was still attached crisp and untouched, screaming new purchase. Mia was in the kitchen scrolling her phone over a bowl of cereal. Nice dress, I said, keeping my tone light like I was commenting on the weather. What's the occasion? She didn't look up. Oh, that I got it for Sarah's birthday party next month. You know, something fun. Her voice was casual, but her fingers tightened around her spoon. Sarah's birthday was in December, not November. My brain flagged it, but I let it slide, sipping my coffee. For months, Mia had been venting about her ex Lucas Hayes and his upcoming wedding. Can you believe he invited everyone but me? She'd said back in April, tossing her hair with that dramatic flair she had. We dated for 3 years, and he's too petty to include me. It's disrespectful. She'd gone on about it, how all their mutual friends were going, how she was the only one left out. I'd nodded along, offering maybe it's just awkward for him. You're with me now. She'd agreed, but her rants never stopped. That dress, though, it didn't fit her story. Over breakfast, I tried again. Thought you might wear it sooner, like this weekend. She kept her eyes on her phone. Nope. We're doing our usual movie night, right? Her smile was too quick, too practiced. Right, I said, but my gut churned. Then she dropped another line. Actually, I might need to help my mom with something Saturday. Her garage is a mess. Linda, her mom, lived in Round Rock, a short drive from Austin. I raised an eyebrow. I could help. I'm handy with tools. She waved me off. No, it'll take all day. You know how chatty she gets. The pieces didn't add up. Linda had cleaned her garage back in June. I'd helped her move a few boxes myself. Why would she need another cleanup so soon? Mia's story was fraying, and that dress was the loose thread. I watched her sip her coffee, her nails freshly manicured, and felt a knot tighten in my chest. She wasn't just hiding something, she was building a whole script. By Tuesday, the doubt had settled in like a guest who wouldn't leave. I leaned against the counter in my apartment, the city's hum filtering through the windows, and replayed Mia's words. The dress wasn't for Sarah's party. It was too fancy, too deliberate, and her sudden garage cleanup excuse. It felt like a cover, especially with Lucas's wedding set for Saturday at the Driscoll Austin's swankiest venue. Mia had spent months swearing she wasn't invited, but her complaints had a rehearsed edge, like she was selling me a story. I pulled out my phone and opened a text thread with Chloe Bennett, Lucas's sister. We'd met a few times at parties back when Mia and Lucas were still on speaking terms. Chloe was cool, sharp-witted, and crucially no fan of Mia. Random question, I typed. Is Mia invited to Lucas's wedding? Her reply came fast, LOL, why she begging to be your plus one? I hesitated, then typed. She told me she wasn't invited. Chloe's response was a gut punch. She's definitely invited. RSVP'd solo last month. Why? My fingers hovered over the keyboard. She said she's helping her mom this weekend. Chloe's next text was a single word, bingo. The room felt smaller, the air heavier. Mia hadn't just lied about the wedding. She'd left me off her RSVP. 2 years together, and she didn't even think to include me. I stared at the dress still hanging in the bathroom, its burgundy fabric catching the light like a taunt. My coffee went cold as I processed it. Mia was going to Lucas's wedding alone and lying to my face about it. Chloe texted again. Want to know something funny? She asked Lucas last month if he ever thinks about what could have been. Classic Mia. My stomach twisted. Mia wasn't just sneaking to the wedding. She was chasing ghosts from her past. I leaned back the city skyline, blurring outside, and felt something shift inside me. Doubt was turning into resolve. I wasn't going to sit home watching Netflix while Mia played her game. Any chance I could crash the wedding, I texted Chloe, half joking. Her reply was, instant, I don't have a plus one. Want to come see this train wreck in person? Lucas won't care. I stared at the message, my pulse picking up. Seriously, I typed. 100%, she shot back. Better than going alone. I took a deep breath, the knot in my chest loosening just a bit. I'm in, I replied. I didn't want to believe Mia was capable of this, but that dress didn't lie. It was time to see the truth for myself. October 2024, Austin, Texas, age 29. I could feel Mia's story unraveling, her excuses crumbling like a bad script, and I wasn't about to let her rewrite the truth. Tuesday morning, I stood in my downtown Austin apartment, the city's pulse humming through the windows. The burgundy dress still hung in the bathroom, its tag taunting me like a neon sign. Mia had left for work, her cereal bowl still on the counter, and I was alone with my thoughts. Her words from yesterday about Sarah's birthday and helping her mom Linda with the garage kept circling in my head. They didn't add up. Linda's garage had been spotless since June, when I'd hauled boxes for her under the scorching Texas Sunday. Why would she need another cleanup now? And that dress far too fancy for a December birthday party. I poured another coffee, the mug warm in my hands, and replayed Mia's complaints about Lucas's wedding. For months, she'd gone on about how he'd snubbed her, leaving her out, while inviting all their mutual friends. It's so petty, she'd said, tossing her hair, but her tone had a rehearsed edge like she was trying to sell me on her victimhood. The more I thought about it, the more it felt like a performance. I set the mug down, my jaw tightening. If Mia was lying, I needed to know. I grabbed my phone and headed to a coffee shop on South Congress Avenue where the vibe was all hipster charm exposed, brick walls, the smell of roasted beans and baristas with tattoos. Sitting in a corner booth, I opened my text thread with Chloe Bennett, Lucas's sister. Her message from yesterday, Mia's definitely invited. RSVP'd solo last month, still burned in my mind. I typed, so Mia's really going to the wedding. Any more details? The reply came fast. Oh, she's going all right. Want to know something wild? She DM'd Lucas at 2 in the morning last month asking if he ever thinks about what could have been. Total drama queen move. My stomach churned like I'd swallowed something sour. Mia wasn't just sneaking to Lucas's wedding. She was chasing old flames while lying to me. I stared at the phone, the cafe's chatter fading. 2 years together, and she hadn't even put me on her RSVP. The betrayal stung sharp and cold, but it also lit a fire. I wasn't going to sit back and let her play me for a fool. Does she know you're telling me this? I texted Chloe. Nope, she replied. She thinks she's got everyone snowed. Told Lucas she's just supporting friends at the wedding. Classic Mia. I leaned back, the booth's leather creaking. Chloe's texts were like puzzle pieces snapping into place. Mia's story about helping Linda was a lie, and her not-invited sob story was pure fiction. I typed, she told me she's spending the weekend cleaning Linda's garage. Chloe's response was a string of laughing emojis. Linda's garage is cleaner than my apartment. Mia's full of it. The cafe's bustle came back into focus, but my mind was racing. Mia's lies were piling up and I had the proof. I sipped my coffee, the bitterness matching my mood, and thought about Saturday. Lucas's wedding was at the Driscoll, a grand old hotel in the heart of Austin. Mia would be there in that burgundy dress, playing the part of the supportive friend, while I was supposed to be home clueless. Not anymore. Back at the apartment that evening, Mia was all smiles, her hair freshly styled, her nails gleaming under the kitchen lights. You're looking fancy, I said, keeping my voice neutral. She laughed a little too loud. Just sprucing up for Mom's place. You know, gotta keep it cute, even for manual labor. Her giggle grated like nails on a chalkboard. I nodded, playing along. Long weekend at Linda's, huh? She didn't miss a beat. Yeah, she's in a decluttering phase. Might stay over Saturday and Sunday. Her eyes stayed glued to her phone, avoiding mine. I watched her pack an overnight bag, the burgundy dress carefully folded inside. She was meticulous, zipping it up like it was no big deal, but I could see the tension in her shoulders. Have fun, I said, leaning against the counter. She flashed a smile too bright and said, love you, babe. See you Sunday. I said it back, but the words felt hollow like an echo in an empty room. As the door closed behind her, I felt a strange calm. Mia thought she was in control, but I was done being her audience. Wednesday night, I texted Chloe again, the city's skyline glowing outside my window. You sure about me coming to the wedding? Her reply was instant, 100%. It'll be fun to see Mia's face when you show up. I'm picking you up Saturday at 3. I grinned, the first real smile in days. Chloe was sharp, the kind of person who saw through nonsense and wasn't afraid to call it out. With her on my side, I felt like I was holding a winning hand. I leaned back on my couch, the weight of Mia's lies settling in. 2 years of trust, and she'd thrown it away for a solo trip to her ex's wedding. The hurt was there, sure, but it was overshadowed by something else. Resolve. I wasn't going to confront her yet. I'd do it at the Driscoll in front of everyone where her lies couldn't hide. The truth was coming, and Mia had no idea what was waiting for her. Thursday morning in my downtown Austin apartment, the city's skyline glowed under a hazy Texas sunrise. The burgundy dress was gone from the bathroom door. Mia had taken it with her, to work, no doubt, tucking it into her overnight bag for her so-called weekend at her mom's. Her lies were piling up like a house of cards, and I was about to knock it down. Chloe's text from yesterday still burned in my mind. Mia's solo RSVP to Lucas's wedding, her late-night DM asking him about what could have been. 2 years together, and she'd left me out of her plans, spinning a tale about cleaning Linda's garage. The betrayal stung, but I wasn't wallowing. I had a plan. I headed to a suit shop in downtown Austin, the kind of place with polished wood floors and racks of tailored jackets. The air smelled faintly of leather and cologne. I picked out a navy suit, crisp and sharp, the kind that made you stand a little taller. As the tailor pinned the cuffs, I texted Chloe. You sure Lucas is cool with me showing up? Her reply was instant, totally. He's marrying Emma over Mia's drama. Plus, I told him you're chill. We're good. I grinned, adjusting my tie in the mirror. Chloe was a force-witty no-nonsense, and the perfect ally to expose Mia's game. Back at the apartment that evening, Mia was in full prep mode. Her hair was styled in soft waves, her nails freshly polished, gleaming under the kitchen lights. She moved with a nervous energy, packing her bag with a precision that didn't match her garage cleanup story. "You're really sprucing up for Linda's," I said, leaning against the counter, my voice light but probing. She laughed a high-pitched chirp that grated my nerves. "Gotta look good even for manual labor. Mom appreciates the effort." Her eyes stayed on her bag, avoiding mine. I caught a glimpse of the burgundy dress, carefully folded inside its fabric, catching the light like a guilty secret. I kept my face neutral, sipping a glass of water to hide the fire in my chest. "Big weekend then, all that decluttering?" I asked. She nodded too quick. "Yeah, Mom's on a mission, probably staying over Saturday and Sunday. You know how she gets." Her smile was tight like she was holding her breath. I knew Linda, her garage was spotless from our summer cleanup. Mia's story was unraveling, and she didn't even know I was onto her. Friday morning, Mia was practically glowing. She stood in front of the bathroom mirror, fussing with her hair, her overnight bag zipped and ready by the door. "You're putting in some effort for a garage," I said, leaning in the doorway. She giggled again, that same forced sound. "Oh, you're just jealous I'm spending the weekend with Mom instead of you." She winked, but her hands fumbled with her earrings. I raised an eyebrow. "Not jealous at all. Have fun." My voice was calm, but inside I was counting the hours until Saturday. She grabbed her bag, the burgundy dress hidden inside, and gave me a quick kiss. "Love you, babe. See you Sunday." Her words felt like a script, rehearsed and empty. "Love you too," I said, the lie bitter on my tongue. As the door clicked shut, I felt a strange calm settle over me. Mia thought she was pulling this off, but I was done playing the clueless boyfriend. I texted Chloe, "What time tomorrow?" She replied, 3 o'clock. Meet me outside the Driscoll. Wear that suit, you'll need to look sharp for this. That night, I laid out the navy suit, its clean lines, a contrast to the mess Mia had made. Chloe and I had gone over the details. Mia's solo RSVP, her shady DMs to Lucas, her fake garage excuse. Every piece of evidence was a brick in the wall I was building. I wasn't just going to the wedding to crash it. I was going to let Mia's lies collapse under their own weight. Chloe's text had given me the ammo, and the Driscoll's grand ballroom would be the stage. I stood by my apartment window, Austin's lights twinkling below. The hurt was still there, a dull ache from 2 years of trust now shattered. But it was overshadowed by something stronger, a quiet resolve. Mia had underestimated me, thinking I'd stay home oblivious while she chased her past. She didn't know I'd be walking into that wedding with Chloe, ready to face her in front of everyone. The truth was coming, and it was going to hit hard. I adjusted the suit jacket on its hanger, picturing Mia's face when she'd see me at the Driscoll. I didn't know how she'd react, but I was ready to find out. Saturday afternoon, I stood outside. The Driscoll, Austin's crown jewel of hotels, its limestone facade glowing under the Texas Sunday. My navy suit felt like armor, crisp and tailored as I adjusted my tie. Chloe Bennett pulled up in a sleek black car, her emerald green maid of honor dress catching the light. "Ready for this?" she asked, her grin sharp as a blade. "Beyond ready," I said, sliding into the passenger seat. My heart was steady, the hurt from Mia's betrayal now fueling a quiet resolve. 2 years of trust, and she'd thrown it away to chase her ex Lucas at his wedding. Today she'd see I wasn't the clueless boyfriend, she thought. Inside the Driscoll, the ballroom was a vision of elegance, crystal chandeliers, white roses, and a string quartet weaving soft melodies. Guests in suits and gowns mingled their laughter, echoing off gilded walls. Chloe led me through the crowd, her confidence infectious. During the ceremony, I spotted Mia in the third row, her burgundy dress unmistakable, its fabric shimmering like a guilty confession. She dabbed her eyes with a tissue, playing the part of a sentimental guest, but I knew better. She wasn't here for Lucas and Emma's love story. She was chasing ghosts. The ceremony was beautiful. Lucas and Emma exchanged vows with a warmth that felt genuine, a stark contrast to Mia's theatrics. As the crowd moved to the cocktail hour, Chloe nudged me. "There she is," she whispered, nodding toward Mia, who was working the room like a pro, hugging friends, flashing smiles, snapping selfies. Her confidence was almost convincing until she saw us. Her face froze, the color draining like water from a cracked glass. Then it flooded back red and blotchy as she locked eyes with me. Mia walked over her steps unsteady, the burgundy dress swaying. What are you doing here?" she stammered, her voice, a mix of shock and accusation. I kept my tone even like I was ordering coffee. "I'm Chloe's plus one. She didn't have anyone, and you were at your mom's right. Figured I'd enjoy the party." Chloe waved her smile wicked. "Hey Mia, didn't know you were coming. Thought you were cleaning Linda's garage." Mia's mouth opened, then closed like a fish gasping for air. "This isn't, you don't understand," she said, her eyes darting to the guests nearby. "Understand what I said, calm as stone. That you lied about not being invited, that you RSVP'd solo, that you're here crying over your ex while I'm supposedly home." Her face crumpled, but she tried to rally. "It's not like that. I'm just supporting friends. Chloe snorted loud enough to draw eyes. You literally asked Lucas last month if he regrets breaking up with you. I've seen the screenshots. The air shifted, a few guests turning to watch. Mia's eyes welled up, but I wasn't buying the tears. You're humiliating me at a wedding, she hissed, stepping closer. I'm just standing here, I said, holding my ground, a wine glass cool in my hand. You're the one who lied about a garage cleanup. She tried a new tactic, her voice low and pleading. Ethan, please. This is embarrassing. Let's go outside and talk. I shook my head. No thanks. I'm enjoying the party. Great venue, right? Mia's face flushed deeper, her hands trembling. You're being ridiculous, she snapped, but her voice cracked. Chloe leaned in, her tone cutting. Ridiculous is drunk DMing your ex at 2 in the morning, Mia. The crowd's murmurs grew. Sarah and Claire, mutual friends, exchanged glances nearby. Mia's tears spilled over, but they felt performative like everything else. You're doing this to hurt me, she said, her voice breaking. No, I said, steady as ever. I'm here because Chloe invited me. You're here for what exactly? To pine over Lucas. Before she could answer, Lucas himself walked over, his tux, crisp, his new bride Emma on his arm. Everything okay here? He asked, his tone polite but wary. I shook his hand. Congrats, man. Beautiful ceremony. He smiled, relieved. Thanks. Good to see you. He turned to Mia, whose face was a mask of barely held tears. You okay? You look upset. I answered for her. She just realized I'm here. Thought she was at her mom's. Lucas's eyebrows shot up and he shifted uncomfortably. Oh, yikes. Mia, maybe you should. He trailed off, glancing at Emma. I'm fine, Mia snapped. I'm here for you as a friend. Lucas nodded, clearly eager to escape. Right. Well, I'm gonna find my wife. Chloe speeches soon. He left Emma, giving Mia a sympathetic look. Mia grabbed my arm, her nails digging in. We're leaving now. I gently removed her hand. I'm staying. I'm Chloe's date. You do what you want. Her eyes blazed. If you don't leave with me, we're done. I met her gaze unflinching. Okay. We're done. Her mouth trembled and she stormed off the burgundy dress, swishing like a fading lie. Chloe raised her glass, a glint in her eye. That was better than the open bar. As the reception rolled on, I felt a weight lift. The hurt was still there, a dull ache, but it was drowned out by something stronger, freedom. Mia's lies had collapsed and I didn't need to do much to make it happen. The truth had done the work for me. Sunday night, I stepped into my downtown Austin apartment, the city's neon glow filtering through the windows. The Driscoll's chandelier-lit ballroom and Mia's shocked face were still fresh in my mind. I'd walked away from our 2-year relationship, leaving her burgundy dress and her lies behind. At 29, I thought I'd built something solid with Mia Thompson, but her solo RSVP to Lucas's wedding and her fake garage cleaning excuse had shattered that. Now, as I tossed my navy suit jacket onto the couch, my phone buzzed like an angry hornet. I glanced at the screen, 73 texts and 31 missed calls, all from Mia. I sank into a chair, the apartment quiet, except for the hum of the city outside. The texts were a roller coaster: denial, anger, bargaining, all in one messy thread. This is a misunderstanding, she started her words, frantic. Then you're a jerk for humiliating me. By the end, she was pleading, please call me back, Ethan. I love you. Her voicemails were worse. One at 3 in the morning accused me of probably flirting with the whole bridal party, followed by a tearful, I'm sorry, just talk to me. I listened to one, her voice cracking, and deleted the rest. The hurt was still there, a dull ache, but it was drowned out by a strange relief. I'd seen the truth, and it set me free. As I scrolled, a notification popped up: Mia's Instagram story. There was a photo of a cardboard box outside my apartment door, stuffed with my clothes and game console, captioned, "When he's too immature to face you. Toxic ex." My jaw tightened, but I wasn't surprised. Mia was trying to spin the narrative, painting me as the bad guy. I tapped out a comment: the wedding you said you weren't invited to while cleaning your mom's garage. That one I hit, post, my fingers steady. Within minutes, mutual friends Sarah and Claire chimed in. Sarah wrote, wait, what, you were at a wedding without Ethan? Claire added, this doesn't add up. Mia's post vanished before the hour was up, but not before our friend group saw it. I leaned back, the city's lights casting shadows across the room. Mia's attempt to control the story was crumbling, just like her lies at the Driscoll. My phone buzzed again, this time a text from Chloe Bennett, Lucas's sister, and my unexpected ally. Check this out, she wrote, sending a photo from the wedding photographer. It was Mia mid-cocktail hour, her face frozen in shock as she spotted me with Chloe. Her burgundy dress stood out, a stark contrast to her pale, wide-eyed expression. Priceless, Chloe added. Mind if I keep this for laughs? I grinned, typing back, send me a copy. The photo was raw, unfiltered proof of Mia's unraveling, and it felt like a small victory. I stepped outside to check the box Mia had left. It sat under the hallway's fluorescent light, a sad pile of my shirts, a couple of hoodies, and my game console, its cords tangled like her excuses. I dragged it inside, the weight of it more symbolic than heavy. Mia thought this would guilt me, but it only made her look desperate. I set the box by the door, not ready to unpack it, neither the stuff nor the emotions. 2 years with Mia, and this was where we'd landed: a cardboard box and a deleted Instagram post. By evening, my phone was still lighting up, but I was done engaging. Sarah texted me privately. "What's going on? Mia's story sounds off." I didn't dive into details, just replied. She wasn't at her mom's this weekend. She was at Lucas's wedding. Sarah's response was a string of shocked emojis. Claire messaged too, asking for the full story, but I kept it short. The truth was out there now, spreading without me needing to push it. Mia's lies were catching up to her, and I didn't have to lift a finger. Chloe texted again, her tone gleeful. "Wait till you see what I'm cooking up. Mia's not gonna like it." I raised an eyebrow, curious but not pressing. Chloe had a knack for cutting through nonsense, and I trusted her to handle whatever came next. I set my phone to silent, the screen going dark as I leaned against the window, Austin's skyline stretching out below. The hurt lingered, a quiet bruise, but it was fading. I'd stood my ground at the wedding, and now Mia was facing the fallout. The truth was doing its work, and I was content to let it. I closed my eyes, the city's hum, a steady backdrop. I'd said my piece at the Driscoll, but Mia wasn't done yet. She'd keep trying to rewrite the story, but I was ready to move on. Monday evening, I sat in an East Austin bar, the kind of place with dim lights, craft beer, and walls covered in local art. The buzz of the weekend's showdown at the Driscoll still lingered, but I was starting to feel lighter, like I'd shed a weight I didn't know I was carrying. At 29, I thought I'd built something real with Mia Thompson over 2 years, but her solo RSVP to Lucas's wedding and her fake helping mom excuse had unraveled it all. Now, as I sipped a cold beer, my phone lit up with a text from Chloe Bennett. "You ready for this? Check TikTok?" I opened the app, and there it was. Chloe's video already at 47,000 views. It started with a candid shot of Mia at the wedding, her burgundy dress stark against her shocked pale face when she saw me with Chloe. Text overlay: read when you lie to your boyfriend about going to your ex's wedding. The video cut to a screenshot of Mia's solo RSVP dated a month ago and ended with Chloe's voiceover. Pro tip: don't say you're cleaning your mom's garage when you're crying over your ex. The comments were brutal. "Girl, that garage must be spotless," one read. Another: "This dude dodged a missile." I couldn't help but grin, the bar's chatter fading as I scrolled. Mia had posted her own TikTok earlier, a tearful monologue about toxic exes who humiliate you. She sat in her car, mascara smudged, claiming I'd crashed Lucas's wedding to ruin her life. It had maybe 100 views, dwarfed by Chloe's viral takedown. The internet wasn't buying Mia's story, and neither was I. Her lies about not being invited, about cleaning Linda's garage, about that burgundy dress were falling apart, and she had no one to blame but herself. Back in my downtown Austin apartment, the box of my belongings Mia had left outside my door still sat untouched, a reminder of her failed attempt to flip the script. I was scrolling through more TikTok comments. She really thought she could lie like that when my phone rang. It was Linda, Mia's mom, her voice heavy with disappointment. "Ethan, honey, I'm worried about Mia. She said you two fought." I took a deep breath, the city's lights glinting outside. "She lied about being at your house this weekend, Linda. She was at Lucas's wedding." There was a long pause. What she said, her tone sharp. "She told me she was with you cleaning my garage." I leaned against the window, the glass cool against my forehead. "She wasn't. She borrowed $450 from you for that dress, didn't she?" Linda sighed, a sound heavy with regret. "She did. I thought it was for car repairs." "I'm so sorry, Ethan. I raised her better than this." I shook my head, though. She couldn't see it. "Not your fault, Linda. She played us both." Linda's voice softened. "You're a good man. She's a fool for messing this up." The call ended, and I set the phone down, the weight of Mia's deception settling in. She'd lied to everyone. Me, her mom, her friends, and now the truth was spreading faster than she could control. Chloe texted again, her tone gleeful. "TikTok's eating her alive. Want to grab a drink tomorrow?" I typed back. "Count me in." Chloe's sharp wit and no-nonsense attitude were a stark contrast to Mia's games, and I was grateful for her role in exposing the truth. Tuesday morning, I walked to a coffee shop on South Congress Avenue, the air crisp with a hint of fall. My phone buzzed with a text from Lucas Hayes, the groom himself. "Hey man, sorry about the drama at the wedding. Mia's telling people you crashed it to stalk her. Just so you know, I'm setting the record straight, you were Chloe's guest." I replied, "Thanks, Lucas. Congrats again." His response was quick. Best wedding gift was those photos of Mia's face, though. Legendary. I chuckled, picturing Mia's shocked expression, now a minor meme in our friend group. The TikTok comments kept rolling in each one, a jab at Mia's crumbling facade. "Imagine lying about a garage to go simp for your ex," one read. Another: "The photographers deserve a raise for that shot." I didn't need to add fuel to the fire. The internet was doing it for me. Mia's lies had built a house of cards, and Chloe's video had blown it down. I felt a quiet satisfaction, not because I wanted her to suffer, but because the truth was finally out. For a 60-plus audience, it's a reminder lies catch up, no matter how clever you think you are. Back in the bar that evening, I met Chloe for a quick drink. She raised her glass, her eyes sparkling. To honesty, she said, and I clinked my beer against hers. Mia's world was imploding, and I didn't need to lift a finger. The truth was doing its work, and I was content to watch it unfold. Wednesday evening, I sat in my downtown Austin apartment, the city's skyline, a quiet backdrop through the windows. The fallout from Lucas's wedding at the Driscoll was still rippling. And at 29, I felt a calm I hadn't known in weeks. 2 years with Mia Thompson had ended in a blaze of lies, her solo RSVP to her ex's wedding, her fake garage cleaning excuse, that burgundy dress. Chloe's viral TikTok with its 47,000 views had laid her deception bare for all to see. Now, as I scrolled through my phone, a notification pinged from an unexpected place, LinkedIn. Mia's message popped up, her profile photo, a polished headshot that didn't match the desperation in her words. Ethan, please ask Chloe to take down that TikTok. It's ruining my career. I lost 2 clients because of it. I leaned back, the laptop's glow casting shadows across the room. Mia worked in social media marketing where image was everything, and that video showing her shocked face and solo RSVP had made her a laughingstock. I didn't reply. She'd built this mess and I wasn't here to clean it up. The box of my belongings, clothes, game console, tangled cords, still sat by the door untouched since Mia left it Sunday night. Her Instagram post about my immaturity had backfired, deleted after friends like Sarah and Claire called her out. Now she was trying LinkedIn of all places to salvage her reputation. It was almost sad, but I felt no urge to rescue her. The hurt from her betrayal was fading, replaced by a quiet freedom. I closed the laptop, the message unanswered, and let the city's hum fill the silence. Thursday morning, my phone buzzed again, this time from an unknown number. It was Mia using a friend's phone. I know I messed up, Ethan, but this has gone too far. I lost another client. Please, can we talk? Her words were a mix of apology and blame, as if I'd pushed her lies into the spotlight. I stared at the screen, the morning light glinting off Austin's skyscrapers. She'd lied to me, to her mom, Linda, to everyone, and now she was paying the price. I typed a single reply. You ruined your own life by lying. Don't contact me again. I hit send, my fingers steady, and blocked the number. Later that day, I got a call from Linda, her voice heavy with exhaustion. Ethan, I made Mia pay back the $450 she borrowed for that dress, she said. She admitted it wasn't for car repairs. I nodded, though she couldn't see. I figured. She wasn't at your place last weekend, was she? Linda sighed. No. She lied to me too. She's moving back to Round Rock. She can't afford her rent anymore. I felt a pang, not for Mia, but for Linda, caught in her daughter's web. I'm sorry you got dragged into this, I said. You're a good man, Ethan, she replied. She doesn't deserve you. I hung up the apartment, quiet except for the faint hum of traffic. Mia's life was unraveling, 2 lost clients, a forced move back to her mom's house in Round Rock, her reputation in tatters. Chloe's TikTok was still gaining traction, the comments piling up with jabs like garage cleaning queen, and she fumbled a good guy. I didn't need to add to the noise. The truth was loud enough. For folks over 60, it's a lesson. Hard-learned lies don't just hurt others, they boomerang back. I texted Chloe, curious about her next move. TikTok still blowing up? I asked. She replied with a laughing emoji. Oh, it's a wildfire. Mia's gone private on Insta. Bet she's sweating. I chuckled, picturing Mia scrambling to save face. Chloe had played her part perfectly, exposing Mia without breaking a sweat. I didn't feel glee, just a calm satisfaction. Mia had tried to control the narrative, but the truth had its own momentum. As I stood by the window, Austin's lights twinkling below, I felt unburdened. The box of belongings by the door was just stuff, shirts, games, nothing I couldn't replace. Mia's lies, her desperate messages, her crumbling career, they were her burden now, not mine. I deleted her LinkedIn message, the screen going dark, and felt a finality settle in. She'd lost her own game and I was done playing. The truth had set me free, and I was ready to move forward without looking back. A month after the showdown at the Driscoll, I sat in a South Congress Avenue cafe, the kind of place with mismatched chairs and the smell of fresh coffee mingling with autumn air. At 29, I'd closed the book on 2 years with Mia Thompson, whose lies, her solo RSVP to Lucas's wedding, her fake garage cleaning excuse, that burgundy dress had unraveled in spectacular fashion. Chloe Bennett, my unexpected ally turned something more, sat across from me, her eyes sparkling as she sipped her latte. So she said, grinning, ready to be my +1 again, my cousin's wedding's next month. I promise no exes will show up. I laughed, the sound easy and light. Only if you swear there's no garage cleaning involved. I shot back. She smirked, raising her cup. Deal. But I might need help with Mom's attic. Her wink was playful, a nod to the irony of Mia's failed lie. The cafe buzzed around us locals, chatting under strings of Edison bulbs, and I felt a peace I hadn't known in months. Mia's drama, her desperate texts, her deleted Instagram post, her viral humiliation via Chloe's 47,000-view TikTok was fading into the past. Last week, Chloe and I had hit up an Austin hardware store, picking out tools for her mom's actual garage. The irony wasn't lost on us. as we wandered the aisles joking about decluttering phases while grabbing a wrench and some shelving brackets. Chloe's humor, sharp but warm, was a breath of fresh air after Mia's manipulative games. We were taking it slow, neither of us wanting to rush, but there was something real there, built on honesty, not secrets. Standing among the tools, I'd caught her eye and thought, this is what trust feels like. My phone buzzed, pulling me back to the cafe. It was a text from Lucas Hayes, the groom whose wedding had sparked this mess. Hey man, he wrote. Just wanted to say thanks for keeping it cool at the wedding. Mia's been telling people you crashed it, but I set them straight, you were Chloe's guest. Also those photos of her face gold. I chuckled, typing back. Appreciate it. Congrats again. Lucas's reply was quick. Emma and I are still laughing about it. You and Chloe seem cool though. I glanced at Chloe, who was sketching on a napkin, and smiled. He wasn't wrong. Mia, meanwhile, had gone quiet. A few days ago, I'd seen her final TikTok, a subdued post about starting fresh and leaving toxic situations behind. Comments were off a sign she'd learned her lesson after Chloe's viral takedown. She'd lost 2 clients, moved back to her mom's house in Round Rock, and repaid the $450 she'd borrowed for that burgundy dress. Her mom, Linda, had texted me last week, her tone weary but kind. Mia's getting herself together. Thanks for being decent through this. I didn't reply, but I wished Linda well. Mia's consequences were her own, and I was done carrying her baggage. The cafe's windows framed Austin's autumn streets, leaves skittering across the pavement. I thought back to the box of my belongings clothes game console Mia had left outside my apartment. I'd finally unpacked it, donating most of the stuff. It felt like shedding the last traces of her lies. That $75 Venmo she'd sent, captioned for the Uber to the wedding, sat unanswered in my account. I'd sent it back with a note, didn't take an Uber. Chloe picked me up. She'd texted one last time from a friend's phone accusing me of emotional cheating, but I'd shut it down. The truth didn't need her approval. Chloe set her napkin down, her sketch, a playful doodle of a garage with a question mark. So cousin's wedding, she said, leaning forward. You in, or are you scared of more Texas drama? I grinned, the warmth of the coffee cup steady in my hands. I'm in. No drama required. For folks over 60, it's a reminder honesty builds stronger bridges than lies ever could. Mia's deception had cost her everything. Friends, clients, her apartment, while I was starting fresh with someone who valued the truth. As we left the cafe, the autumn air cool against my skin, I felt unburdened. Chloe and I walked toward her car, planning our next outing, and I knew I was ready to live the truth. No lies, no games, just a clean slate. November 2024, Austin, Texas. Sitting in that South Congress cafe with Chloe, I felt a peace I hadn't known in years. Mia's lies, her burgundy dress, her fake garage, excuse her solo RSVP to Lucas's wedding, had unraveled her life, not mine. She'd lost clients, moved back to Round Rock, and learned the hard way that deception carries a heavy price. I didn't need to push her downfall. The truth did that for me. At 29, I'd found freedom in letting go and strength in starting fresh with someone who valued honesty. The lesson here isn't about revenge, it's about trust. Lies, especially in love, build nothing but fragile facades that crumble under scrutiny. For those of us who've lived a little longer, it's a reminder the truth always finds a way out, and it's better to live it than hide from it. Chloe and I are taking it slow, but every laugh we share feels like a step towards something real. If you've ever faced a betrayal like this, how did you move forward? Did you choose quiet distance or a loud fight? I'd love to hear your stories in the comments below. Share your wisdom, and let's keep this conversation going.